Today I'm going to try and install a Evotech tail tidy on my Triumph Street Triple RX. This is the bag that you get from Evotech, nicely packaged up. Not a lot to it. I'll lay out the parts and see what's next. There's no instructions. All the instructions are online on their website. It's quite an expensive tail tidy. It's about £125, but the original version that from Triumph is absolutely terrible. So I'll try and show a picture of that as well, and do before and after shots. So here are all the parts laid out. The finish is really beautiful actually. It's all made from billet aluminium, and the finish has got sort of a matte, slightly rough feel, but it looks lovely. If you're worried about putting anything cheap looking on your bike, then have no fears. It's been designed to use all the original Triumph indicators. They do include an LED number plate light as well, and there's all the fixings as well, which includes extra number plate bolts in there as well, and bullet connectors as well for the electrics. So I'm going to build it up now, and then I'll show you what the tail tidy looks like before I put it onto the bike. So this is it, just roughly made up, so you can see the shape of it. So it's got the LED light that feeds the wires through the middle and through the body of it, and then out through the top. The OEM indicators will fit onto the end of this, and then the wires will go through again and route with the other one up through the top and then under the seat. It's a really nice looking bit of kit. It's fairly heavy actually. Probably put it at about maybe a kilo. And all the instructions are on the website, so you can download a PDF, and it's just really clear instructions to follow. So I'm going to go follow them now. I probably won't film myself doing it, but I'll try and get a before and after for what the bike looks like. So this is the original OEM tail tidy, although it's not a tidy at all. It's a bit of a monstrosity. I'm also taking the opportunity to change the plate from a, I don't know, that looks like a tea tray, to something a little bit smaller, but still legal. I think I'll go 8.6, which is on the edges of legal, but it's a real eyesore. So I'm looking forward to getting this one changed over. So first step is to remove the Pinion seat or cowl and take out these 4 bolts, and then it's to remove the number plate hanger from the existing indicator mounting. Okay, so the beast is dead. That's the old number plate hanger off. Bike looks a lot better without it, doesn't it? Wow, so much space there. I was slightly wrong when I pointed out these 4 screws. That one doesn't need to come out. Instead, it's one that's quite deeply recessed under here. So you need a deep socket set, but not a real problem. Okay, so just trying to break down to get into the electronics and the wiring for this, because that will need to be reused in part. And the thing that Evotech don't really tell you is that there's there's a reflector that you have to take off the back side of where the plate bracket fits onto the arm, and those are protected underneath the reflector by these sort of crush rings. So you've got to try and get those off the back of here before you can take this off. But then once you've taken that off, then you can get to all the glorious insides. So you know, that frees off your indicator wires and exposes the loom. It's got some sort of grease in here. I guess maybe they put that on there so that the wires don't rub and chafe and then short circuit. So the step here is you disconnect the indicator wire from its loom. Okay, so I've done it for the left hand side one, and then that just threads through this Evotech part, bolts on, and then it threads through the main sort of hanger body, and that will be bolted on there, and then you repeat for this side, which is there, and then I put it together. So I've got the three main components together now. So I've got the left indicator, the right indicator, and they're going to go together like that. Then I've got the number plate mounting bracket, and that's going to go onto the end, and then the wires get fed through the sort of central void there, and it gets bolted together, and then we're nearly there. Okay, so now it's all bolted together, and it really feels really well made actually. Got no problems putting it on the bike at all. The leads, they come up quite neatly, come up through the top here, and you have to reuse this Triumph sort of part here. It's just a rubber pad, which I think just protects stops it from rattling, etc. So I think the next step is to attach it to the bike, feed the wires through, and then it's going to be a case of reattaching them to the loom. I imagine I'm going to have a fair bit of wiring just sort of shoved up in this area. It's a good bit of space underneath the seat though, so I reckon there's room. There are 4 of these sort of collared washers in the bolts that attach the tail tidy to the bike, and the OEM ones are like that, and Evotech supply 4 more like that. So it's just a case of taking the old ones out, dropping the new ones in. So there's 4 of those, and as I say, only one of them is a difficult to reach area, but you can access it under here, so it's not too bad. Okay, there it's on now. Really solid. Looks good. Just the wiring left to do really. So there's the original Triumph loom piece connection there, and then we've got the LED number plate light and the 2 indicator connections there. So it'll be a case of just stripping out the original loom piece here, so that'll enable the indicators to connect back up to the loom, and Triumph have given us some bullet connectors to help us connect the LED to the loom. So I'll see how that goes. Because the wires are a bit of a mess, I'd advise doing a test before you close everything off, because I've connected the indicators up as best I could, and done a little test, and so that's left from the front, and then just to check I got things right, wander around the back, and Oops, so that's right. So I think I need to change those over a bit, else that could lead to a little bit of confusion and danger, I reckon. So I will just change those out. It's really simple actually. So these bullet connectors, it was black to black and white to blue for one side, and black to black and white to green for the other side. I didn't make a note of which was left and right out of blue and green, and sod's law got it wrong. So I'll just quickly whip those off and swap them over, and then we're all good. Okay, so rewired, and there's left front, and left rear. So that's I'm much happier with that. And right's working too. I think in the future I'm going to try doing the LED indicators as well, so they'll be a lot brighter. And the front one's still working as well. The only real bit of wiring you've got to do yourself is for the number plate light, which they give you. So so this is the piece from the loom from Triumph, and they just give you a couple of bullet connectors. So the idea will just be to snip it off somewhere in the middle, and bullet connect it from here onto the wires coming out of the LED light, and then then you can reuse the loom plug. So that should be fairly straightforward. I mean, they give you the bullet connectors, but you can use any other type of electrical connectors if you're not keen on those. And the length of the lead that they give you from the LED light is fairly ridiculous. So, and I think the idea is probably going to be to cut it down to a similar length to the indicator wires, so about here. So we're going to take about a foot off that, I'd say. Maybe I'll leave it a couple of inches longer just in case I mess up. But no, that's the hardest bit of wiring. That's the only really bit of wiring in the whole install. So don't be put off if you think there's going to be some electrical work. And underneath, I mean, all you can see in terms of wires, so good, is just that sort of really small piece there from the LED number plate light into the housing, and then it goes up internally. So it's really neat. So the wiring's all done now, and it tucks neatly away under the main seat. So I mean, you still get a bit of space to use here, and you still get access to the tools. So that's reassuring. Okay, so it's all done now. There it is, all fitted up. Really pleased with that. Simple to do. Probably took me maybe about an hour, but I wasn't going crazy. Number plates on as well. They even supply the yellow screws for the number plate, so they make that easy too. I think it looks great. I think one of the other mods I'll do is to take off those rear footrests for the Pinion. I won't be needing those, so that will tidy up the rear end again really nicely. As I say, I've stepped down on the size of the plate as well. So I mean, that was the previous one. So you'd be looking at, well, where was that, about out here, and the sort of size of that compared to the size of the new one. It's a good bit smaller.